Okay, so now things start to get even more interesting as we build on our knowledge base of how the manipulations work in the keyboard shortcuts. So, up to now, again, we are dealing with defaults, meaning that I'm basically gradually adding a layer of information on top of the earlier information. So, up to now, we have basically been talking about manipulating it specifically on the global axis. Down here we're in global view, right? So and then I also talked about how you could use the global access or get the global access with the shortcuts just by using the viewport. So you could use that as a way to like precisely rotate on that viewport and so on. So now the next level is in an earlier video we talked about the different transform orientations here. And so let's just do an easy one. Let's try local. Okay, so now let's rotate this cube a little bit like that, and then now I have this set to local. Notice how before if it's set to global it's up and down. Sorry guys who know this already, but I'm covering everything to make sure nothing gets lost. Alright, so now we can move it on the local axis, meaning that axis, like that. So where it was already rotated in that direction, and now I want to keep just moving it along that axis. Okay, so there are the first question you're going to ask yourself is, well, gee, I hit the rotate and Z key, and now it's still going up and down. I want to have a shortcut to move it that way. So it's pretty simple. In Blender, what you do is you hit R one time, Z one time, and Z a second time, and like magic, there you are. Now you're rotating on the transform orientation, the work plane, or the new plane of orientation, right? We talked about work planes in other programs like Modo and so on, and this is very similar. So now we're on the sort of the local coordinates or local work plane of that object. And if you remember, I won't do this now, but if you remember, actually maybe I will. Maybe I will cover that right now. So let's go ahead and make this local one for that cube. Let's make that its own orientation so that we can further explain this. All right. So now over here, it shows up, and you can't see it under that thing, but it will be there. You can see cube, right? So that's the cube orientation, and that could be named anything. That could be named, random. Oops, keyboard problem. Random rotation, right? So we can name it something, and now we have random rotation, right? So now I want to rotate the light on that random rotation. So if I hit R one time and hit oh, excuse me, it's probably a good idea to look which one you want to use first. So I want to right now I want to do it on the Z, so it would be, that's the blue one, right? So R one time, Z one time, that would go up and down. You can't really see anything there. And in fact, what am I doing on the light? That you won't be able to see the light, so let's try the camera. So again, we're going to go R one time, then Z, and now Z a second time, and it's going to, let's see where we can see the same rotation. There we go. So now, so R one time, Z one time, and Z a second time, you can see it's going on that same direction as the cube is rotated. It may not be super precisely obvious, but you follow what I mean. It's going that way. This one now is also rotating from that angle. So that's the second level of shortcuts. It's basically a double hit on the coordinates that you want. So that could work for any of them. So for example, if we had it more random now and we set it back to local, set it back to local, there we go. Now the Y is going in that direction, so I could go rotate on the Y 2 times, and I'm rotating it like that. Same for scale. Scale Y 2 times, and I'm scaling it along there. And scale XX, and I'm scaling it along there. So that's how that works. So we'll go into that more next time, next video.